What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at Europa's road to the final, Jimenez, and obviously Wolves being relatively a decent team since they've made their debut back in the Premiership last season. They have absolutely sparked a magnificent run. They've in one season managed to go above, I believe 10th they finished last year, and then obviously continuing that this year with getting into the Europa, which is absolutely phenomenal from a team that's only just come up from the Championship to then actually really doing well in it. Currently they're second. Obviously they've won 3 matches and lost 1 so far in their group stage, so they've still got a bit of work to do, but I'm quite confident in saying that they will probably go out of the knockout stage with comfortable. Obviously if they don't get first, which is currently held by Braga, they will go against someone of a better caliber compared to obviously finishing first in their group stage. Obviously from seeding, from all of that good stuff. They may go against someone good in either end. Sometimes that's just what happens. Roma currently are sitting at second as well, so if they go first, they could potentially go against someone like that. But Wolves, I like them. Personally, I'm from just outside of Birmingham, so Wolves has always been quite a good team in my area personally. My uncle supports Wolves. Personally, I don't, but I know a bit about them, and I know for one they've had a fantastic transfer market when they came up to the Prem, buying a lot of good Portuguese players, and then obviously investing some money into Jimenez as well. A fantastic player, and obviously if he does go up, this could be a massive thing for Wolves in Ultimate Team as well. There's not many Wolves players that you'd put into a team. Obviously with Jimenez, he's an 83 to begin with. Could potentially go up to an 85, I believe, if they go outside of the knockout. Obviously if it is 84, there's a potential if they were to win the Europa to go up by 6 or 7, I believe it is. That could then turn him into an 89, 90 rated striker, and that would actually be phenomenal. The chances of them winning the Europa League is a little bit slimmer than most, but with the chance, there's always that opportunity for the risk. And I think Jimenez being 40k currently on the Xbox and 29 on the PlayStation, which is a bit of a weird... Normally it's the other way around. Normally PlayStation seems to be a bit more expensive, mainly from people trading, people a lot more on the market on the PlayStation, or at least what I'm seeing anyway. The Xbox, obviously with the inflated price, I personally would look at anything under 35. I think that would actually be quite a nice pickup for you. Personally, I probably will put one in my club when it comes to after rewards, more than likely. Obviously at the minute he's a little bit pricey, and I do want to see if I could potentially get him in my rewards tomorrow, which would always be fantastic. So going on to the player, we're going to talk about the invest. We're going to talk about, is he good now? Will he be good in the future? Is he worth the coins at all? And realistically, how far do we think Wolves is actually going to go, and what upgrade can we expect from Jimenez? But before we do that, if you are new to the channel, make sure you go subscribe down below. I don't do this enough. I normally do it at the end when people have probably tuned out by 10 minutes. I don't blame you. Go down there and subscribe for more content. We try and cover as many people as possible when it comes to reviewing. I'm really stepping it up this year and gonna really absolutely smash it out. So stay tuned for that with the bell button on, and also if you want to give it a like, that's always fantastic as well. So Jimenez, 83. Obviously he is Mexican striker. 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. I'm liking the weak foot. Skill moves, it's a bit basic. Like I always say, most of my striker, left wing, right wing cam reviews, I always like a 4-star. That's something that will always get you a basic points from my personal reviews. 3-star does minus him a point personally, in my opinion. It limits what he can do up front as a solo striker. That doesn't kind of necessarily hinder him as a partnered striker, because obviously you can have your skilled striker and you can have a basic striker. He is 6'2". He's a relatively tall striker when it comes to it. So heading wise, if that does become a patch and it actually becomes useful in this game, he then becomes that little bit more usable than a 5-star who's 5'4" and can absolutely beat anyone off the mark. He becomes then the perfect hold-up striker for you. Looking at some other stuff, 6'2", like I already mentioned, he is right-footed, and he's got a high attacking and defensive work rate. Looking on all of that, the skill moves is a downgrade. The high defensive, to be honest, in this game, and I think in the last FIFA, it became less of an issue with the custom tactics being more of a thing, because obviously you can just put him stay up front, and to be honest, even with the high, I don't notice him coming back with that. He tends to stick to the custom tactic, and that always helps with any sort of not wanted work rate. So for me, no problem with that. 81 pace, 81 shooting. The stats at this moment in time aren't fantastic, don't get me wrong. They aren't amazing. There's nothing really that appeals to me massively from this card on his basic version. And that's why this review, to be honest, is going to be mainly all about the investment, really. I think as a striker at an 83 rated, you probably wouldn't put him in pretty much most teams. If you were going to buy him, he's not first owner, so he can't help you with any objectives like that. The only thing he could realistically do for you is any Mexican objectives or anything along them lines. That is pretty much all he can do at this moment in time. There is chance of him going up, obviously with the knockout staging looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think he definitely will go up to the 84, 85 once that happens. Could they then go at least 1 or 2 rounds? Most definitely. Unless they got someone massive, someone huge in the tournament, which would be very unlucky for their cup run. But I can see them definitely beating quite a few teams. They're a very dig deep kind of team. They really come out when it comes to the numbers, and obviously we know in the Premiership they have killed some absolute giants. This year alone they beat Man U. Last year I think they beat at least half of the top teams in the Premiership. So can that transpire and go into the Europa? Most definitely. They're a very good team, and I do like them as the underdog. I think they thrive off it, and this could be a really good cup run for them. It's the first time they're back into the Europa and into Championship football. I think they could really do well and go actually quite far. I believe we could probably be seeing at least an 86 or 87 Jimenez before the end of their run happens. And if to say that does happen, it does say that they may not be knocked out. That's always a possibility with any team in this championship. It takes one game to change it. Look at Liverpool last year. I keep coming to it. They were 3-0 down at Barca, and they managed to come back and win the Champions League. Granted, the teams are different, the kind of quality's different, but that football mentality is always the same regardless of who you're playing against or who you're playing with. So there is a good chance that they can go actually quite far in this championship. So will he go up a lot? Probably go up a bit, personally for me. I think the pace and the shooting definitely need to have some work. Obviously, Chem Stars will help this. Personally, if I was going for just this card and giving a review on what to make this card any better, a Hunter is definitely needed. You'd then get 90 pace and 87 shooting. That for me then turns him into a high-end striker. He'd turn to an 86 rated striker on FUTBIN, in-game that is. And overall, I'm quite happy with that. I think as a kind of budget striker, someone who's going to be a long-term investment and maybe can play some super sub games, a Hunter is definitely needed. Agility and balance aren't fantastic. We've got 75 agility and 51 balance. That for me is very bad, and that's why I prefer him as a hold-up striker. Someone who's going to be pressing that L2 or LT, someone who's going to be blocking off the players, reeling them fouls in basically, someone who doesn't know necessarily what the kind of the blocking does. They'll just go straight through the back of you and then give you a free kick. You can then do any sort of set play and really get some really good numbers off that. You can practice your free kicks quite a lot, because a lot of people do tend to just run in and absolutely nail the striker to stop him from getting anywhere. And if you are using that kind of blocking tactic, they'll go straight through the back of you and give you a free kick very easily. 80 strength, 83 aggression. I'm quite happy with that. It's very average, but it's better than most. 85 stamina. Again, a nice stat. I'm happy with him with that. 86 head and accuracy, 71 jumping. Again, all very average stats right now. 82 composure, 81 dribbling, 80 ball control, and 82 reactions. They're all very okay. That is the main thing with this card at the minute. They are all very okay. But obviously we haven't seen any upgrades in any of these cards as of yet. It'll be interesting to see what they do with each card. Is each card going to have the very same upgrades? Are they going to be different and tailor-made to different teams? That's something that I'm very interested in, and I think that is why I'd be quite happy to pick up some of these cards to see what their +1, +2 upgrades do to them. Does it make them into this unnatural, really good player straight off the bat, or is it very picky, very 1+ on everything? I'd like to see that. Personally, on the overall review, I think he's very good at kind of holding up. Not very good at dribbling because of the balance, the dribbling in general. Average overall. Shooting wise wasn't terrible. It weren't fantastic to say the least, but it weren't terrible. With the Hunter Chem style, he played relatively nice. A little bit quicker than normal. Obviously, personally, I don't think he looks like a 90 rated pace player with a Hunter, mainly because of the size of him. He is quite a big striker, so that is why I say he's hold up definitely. Even could be quite a nice cam. Maybe not got the agility for it or the passing, but can be that kind of overlap guy who's going to be there to have them long range shots for you personally. I do think he is better than Giroud. I think there's very little amount of strikers at this moment in time that are worse than him, purely because he is a low rated. He's not meant to be the best at the minute. I think Rashford most definitely out trumps him currently, mainly because of the pace element really, and I think Rashford shooting wise is a lot better when it comes to actually finishing the ball. I've given him a 9 out of 10 for value for coins because I think 40k for this player right now, if that investment pays off and he goes up to an 85, 86, 87, he's going to be worth at least double to maybe triple that. That is just why I think investing in this card, putting him in your club, 40k isn't a lot. It's one weekend of FUT Champs, and that's it. That's all you need to put into this card. 4 out of 10 for FUT Champs. Like I say, to be honest, he probably has no reason to be in FUT Champs at this moment in time. Probably until he hits like an 88, I'd say he'd then be worth FUT Champs. And overall, at this moment in time, I'm giving him a 5.5. Personally, if he does come back at an 85, 86, I will do another review on him to see what his upgrades are like, and exactly the same for all the others. I will do upgrade reviews and everything like that. We did it with Sterling last year. I'm going to try and keep these up to date, and after every Champions League game, see what I can actually get and really give you that update on everyone. Maybe even post a video on everybody and what I think about them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all for the next one. Have a good day. Peace.